Hello everyone! Welcome back to our channel. I'm Hannah and this is Starbit Reader. So for today's video, I'm going to be going through my June TBR. It's very ambitious. I'm not saying I'm going to finish all of these books for certain, but I want to make a pretty good dent in them. There's some books I definitely want to finish this month, so let's just get right into it. So I've broken these up into categories. I have the first category, which is the books that I've gotten from the free book card at work. And that's a very specific category. But I work at a book distributor, and when books come back damaged or things like that, they go on a free cart that we're allowed to take from. And so for this month, I have two books from that I would like to read. Family Ties by Sarah Richman. This book follows a teenage girl just starting out in high school, but she goes to the high school where the androids also go. And a lot of people are not very accepting of that. There are riots and things like that. People who are trying to get the androids to not participate in society. And of those people are her parents, who are not very accepting of androids and don't want her to go to a school that androids also go to. So she ends up making a few android friends and starts to see that maybe they're not all that bad. I've actually already finished this book. I really enjoyed it. I'll talk about it further with my wrap up for the month, but I enjoyed it. It's a younger read. It's middle grade. I've decided recently that I want to get back into middle grade, and so this was kind of my first full book back into it. It's very short. I finished it within just a day, and it was a really good read, so I highly recommend it. Doesn't have a lot of ratings on Goodreads, so if any of you can get your hands on it and read it and give it a little review, I think that would be helpful for the author too. The next book from that pile is not from a smaller author. It is Rick Riordan's Daughter of the Deep. This follows a girl who all she has in her life. So the next category of books are books that I've gotten from like book sales and things like that, where I've gotten them pretty cheap. And also they happen to be books I'm listening to on audio. So the first one I'm going to talk about is Just the Nicest Couple by Mary Kubica. The funny story that I have for this book is that I went to a book sale and bought it, and then I went to that same place's book sale a few months later and bought it again, because I didn't have a list of all the books that I owned at that time. So I apparently really want to read this book. What I know about this one is that there is a missing husband. The wife at first assumes that he's just blowing off steam, staying at a friend's house, quickly realizes that that is not the case. I'm kind of going into this one blind as well. I really like to go into thrillers more blind. I assume that they end up not being just the nicest couple. So we'll see what happens if the wife has anything to do with it. I'm excited to dive into this mystery. The next book is The Favor by Nora Murphy. I've actually already started this book. I'm almost finished with it. This follows two women, both who are in an abusive relationships. Their husbands are controlling, mentally, physically, sexually abusive. Both women started out as very accomplished, educated women, seemed to be able to take care of themselves, very independent, until they met their husbands, who kind of derailed that because they wanted to be in complete control. This continues where both women don't feel like they have an escape until one day one of their husbands is shot. This is really good so far, really good thriller. I'm enjoying it. The twists are really good. There are things that I'm expecting to happen, and those happen, but it still happens in a way where I'm excited about it and I'm excited to hear what happens next. So I am almost finished with this one. I'll give a more detailed review of it in my wrap-up, but yeah, The Favor by Nora Murphy. The next one is These Silent Woods by Kimmy Cunningham. This book is about a man and his daughter who live in the forest, completely isolated, no connections to anyone, because that man has something to hide. Probably multiple things to hide. That's all I really know about it. That's all I want to know about it at this point, as it's another thriller. I'm really excited to dive into this one. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I think it'll be a really fun, really intense read for me. So the next category is books I checked out from the library that I would like to complete this month. The first one I'm going to share is Rick Riordan's The Chalice of the Gods. It is the most recent installment of the Percy Jackson series. I really enjoyed the original series. I've read the first few books so many times I can't even count. It's just such a comforting world to get back into, and I'm excited to see what they get up to this time. I know within the last few books of the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, they get a little bit more intense and they kind of grow up a little bit, the characters, and they're dealing with more adult themes. And I'm hoping to see that reflected in this book as well. I really have no idea what the main quest is or anything like that. I just know that I'm excited to dive back into this world and see what they have going on. I checked this one out because of the other Rick Riordan book on my TBR for this month, and I decided that maybe I should read everything he's ever written. So that's why I checked this one out. I'm gonna catch up on that decent backlog of Rick Riordan books that I have not read yet. The next book I checked out from the library is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I've already read Beach Read by Emily Henry, and somehow a lot of the booktubers I watch all read Emily Henry within the same week, so then I decided I need to get caught up on all the Emily Henry books. This is a theme. I will once in a while decide I need to read the entirety of an author's backlog, and that's, I guess, the theme for this video. This follows two best friends. They go on vacation with each other every year until one year something happens and kind of ruins it, but they're finally going on one last vacation together. I'm excited to see what happened with their relationship, how they're trying to fix it. Emily Henry is a romance author, so I'm sure they're falling in love and things. So I'm excited to see all of that unfold. She is a really good author, and I really enjoy her writing style. And I enjoy that she also hits on a lot of hard-hitting topics. Sometimes I'm not in the headspace for that, but right now I believe that I am, and I like that it's balanced with kind of a lighthearted romance. So yeah, I'm really excited to start catching up on Emily Henry's books. The next few books that I have are manga. So I decided that I want to get caught up with Komi Can't Communicate. I previously owned every volume that was out. I decided that I wanted to make more room on my manga shelves for things that I liked a little bit more, but I still really enjoyed this one, so I did want to catch up with it. So I have 26, 27, and 28 are the volumes that I need to read to catch up. Komi Can't Communicate is about a girl in high school who has extreme social anxiety. She can't communicate with people. She comes off as kind of mean or like cool and collected, but inside she's freaking out every time she has to talk to someone or someone talks to her, until she meets a friend, and she decides once she has this one friend who starts helping her out that she wants to make 100 friends by the end of high school, I believe. I really enjoyed the anime of this as well. It's a very cute story. I'm excited to catch back up and get back into the world with these characters. I just know it's going to be a fun time and a good addition to my TBR for this month. The next book I have is also a manga. It is the first volume of Black Butler. I have volumes 1 through 5 checked out currently. I have been watching the new arc that's currently coming out this season, and I've been really, really enjoying it. I remember when I was watching the anime from the beginning, and I was working an overnight job, and I didn't really get to enjoy it as much because I was kind of miserable at that job. So I'm excited to start the story back over and hopefully enjoy it more this time, because I really like these characters, and I remember really liking the anime. I just watched it at the wrong time, I guess. So I'm picking this up for the first time. This is my cat. Her name is Lady, and she also wants to talk about books with me, I guess. So I'm excited to be reading this one. I'm excited especially to catch up to where the anime is right now, because I'm really loving that arc. But this is about a young earl named CL Phantomhive and his butler. The twist is that his butler is actually a demon, and CL has complete control over him and can order him to do whatever he needs. So he ends up being quite a powerful Earl. So that's kind of the basic premise. Obviously, a lot of crazy things happen. Um, but I'm really excited to finally be reading this manga. So the next books I have are just physically owned books that I want to read for the month. The first one I'm going to talk about is Spy Family. This is a manga series following a man who is a spy, a woman who is an assassin, and their adopted child who is a telepath. And I won't spoil that. But it follows this family as they kind of keep fooling each other into thinking that they're normal, and it's just kind of a really fun and cute situation, and I really love the anime. So I'm excited to be finally reading the manga. I've already read a few of the volumes. Bye, lady. I hope to get caught up on this series this month. There are 11 volumes out in total. And I'm excited to get caught up, and it's just a very cozy read for me, so I get excited every time I get to open the manga. So I am really anticipating reading this series for this month. The next book for the month of June is The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. I have already completed this book. The very brief synopsis is it's about a defense attorney who is defending her husband for the murder of his mistress. And that's all I'm going to give you because that's all I had going into it. And I found that was the perfect amount of information, and it's really intense, and I enjoyed it. I'll have more complete thoughts in my wrap up, but this was one of the books that I was hoping to complete for June. Another book I've already completed is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. This was really good. Everything everyone has said about it is really good. It follows Emily Wilde, who is a researcher on fairies. She studies them and interacts with them and does whatever she can to further her own education on them. And so this is about her starting an encyclopedia of all of the fairies she's ever discovered, interacted with, researched, and it ends up being a really cozy story, and I really enjoyed it. I'll have more complete thoughts later, but this was a good read for this month. The next book I hope to read is the second installment of that same series, Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands. I'm not exactly sure how this one differs from the first one or what adventure she's going on next. I don't really want to know. I kind of went into the other one a little bit blind, just knowing it's supposed to be a cozy fantasy. So I'm excited to get back into this world and kind of enjoy these characters for another book. The next book I have is one of the selections I made from Book of the Month for this month, and that is The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center. I read The Bodyguard by Catherine Center, and I loved it. It was so cute, and it also was like, the emotional parts really hit me hard. It just, the whole book made me really happy, and like, it felt like I had gone on a journey by the time I was done with it. And so I'm also wanting to read pretty much all of her books eventually. This book follows an aspiring screenwriter who loves rom-coms, and when she finally gets to have an opportunity to write, her co-writer does not want to write with her because he does not think she's up to standard. And this is kind of devastating for her because this was kind of her chance, but obviously Catherine Center writes romances, so I assume they fall in love begrudgingly, and I'm excited to kind of read their story and see what happens. And the final book on my June TBR is another Book of the Month selection called One Star Romance by Laura Hankin. This one follows a struggling author whose best friend's wedding is coming up, and she has to walk down the aisle with the man who wrote a scathing one-star review for her book. That's all I know about this one, but obviously they probably fall in love. I'm excited to read the story and enjoy it. I honestly don't usually read romance. I think I might be in my romance era because everyone else is in the romance era, and I keep getting excited about romance books when people are reviewing them. So I'm gonna try the romances I have on my TBR for this month and see if that's the case. But I'm excited to read this one, especially as someone who has written a novel and self-published it. I think I'll be able to kind of relate a little bit to how it would feel to get that kind of criticism. And also as someone who reads a lot, knowing how it is to be the one who gives that criticism is also going to be helpful, and I think I'm really gonna connect with these characters and enjoy this book a lot. That's all for today's video. Thank you for watching. Let me know if any of these books on my TBR interest you, or if you've read them and enjoyed them or hated them or whatever it is. Thank you again so much for watching. If you liked it, feel free to like and subscribe and join me on this journey. I'm really excited to continue reading and to give you updates on all of these books. Hopefully, we'll see how many I read. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Goodbye from me and Lady. And I will see you soon in the next one. Bye!